So today we would like to explain a little bit about Samba. So there is, when you dance Samba, basics or advanced steps, there is a 3 actions you can focus on and play with them to make it more interesting. So number 1 action, if you put your hand here, it's your tummy action. It's your slight compression, slight contraction action. So your tummy is always active, and your belly button winks, a little bit pelvis tilting sensation. So just put your arm here and try to make your stomach go in and out. Yeah, so for example, if you go through the steps and you just can include this action into every single step. For example, if we do basic and you keep your hand here, making your stomach always work. So it'll be a great start to start feeling that Samba action. The second, let's do a whisk to the side. 1, 2, 1. Feel the stomach. 2, 1, 2. Or let's say we do a volta. We make that stomach work. Belly button wing. Boom. Stomach is always active. Or let's do it on the other leg. 1, 2, 1. Or we do a whisk. So you go cross with a little bit stomach. Replace, coming back to the stomach. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Or maybe you're doing batucadas, so you can include your tummy to it. So focusing only one idea, making that tummy always work. Or let's say we're doing cruzado walks. We're making your stomach work, your stomach action. Boom. Or we're doing lock step, making your tummy work. So that's number 1. So in Samba, besides, of course, is when you learn your basic step or you have your routine. Number 1, you have to activate this. Number 2 action, you can play. You cannot do it every single step, but you can do every other step. It's part of this tummy is when you're doing reverse ripple. So tummy goes in, and the way we return, we have a little bit reverse ripple. And we can use it almost in any step, but just to do it too many times step by step will be not easy. Like stomach, you can do literally every step. So if you're focusing on reverse ripple, it looks like this. If we start with the most basic step, 1, 2, 1, 2. Why to do ripple? Ripple because it's very musical. And second, when you use your knee, tummy, chest, even head, and then you take a step. So it's like almost like you're throwing up, boom, and the step happens after. So it's become very visual. It's very fun to dance, very fun to look at. But remember, number 1 is your tummy action where your belly button is winking. Okay, but let's now focus on the reverse ripple. As you can see, we use our knees, stomach, chest, and then we go to the step. Now, for example, when we do this place change, here it's not a good idea to do ripple because there is no step introduced. So when you have a step, that's ideal to do that reverse ripple to finish it with the step. So here you just do a little bit hip circle, a little bit tummy, but now on the way back, you can still use your knees and produce that reverse ripple. 2, let's try it. Reverse ripple. 1, 2, ripple. 3, 4. So you ripple and that end up in the step. 2, 3, 4. The same we can do in our whisk. So remember, we use tummy, we can go a reverse ripple and then leg. Because remember, one of the most important principles when we dance, we don't want to have a leg moving independently of the head of the body. So even like we explained you already in Cha-Cha and Rumba, you want to have your body be always ahead of the foot. So the body, then foot. So body always decide the foot. But in Samba, because we have a bouncing, we have a little bit different type of action, here, when you have a reverse ripple, that actually will create that effect that the leg will be always as a reaction to the body rather than let go too soon. That's why ripple is quite helpful and it could be a great style, but you can use only tummy, only the action number 1. So this is action number 2 again. 1, 2. So you can use ripple here on the way out. 1, and also I like to use that ripple here as well. 2 to collect leg. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Why it's called reverse ripple? Because it starts normally what we consider ripple. Ripple is like I take a pill, and it travels down. Reverse, it's going to be opposite way. It's going to go from your knee into your hip, into your stomach, into your chest, into your head, and that will result in a step. So it's called reverse ripple. So let's try again. Try to do 2 ripples in a whisk. One and 2, one and 2, one and 2, one and 2. And watch slowly here. Exactly, stay here. How to do reverse ripple. From the feet and knees. So start in your knees, then going into the hip, into the chest, into the head, then step. So something like that. And then a step. Very good. Let's move to another step. For example, we're doing stationary Samba walk. 2, one and 2. So when we collect leg, here actually we can do a little bit ripple. Also on the way out, could be a little bit ripple there. One and 2, one and 2, one and 2, one and 2. Also for the volta, let's say we do slow volta, we can have a sense of reverse ripple, which end up in the step. 2, 2. Of course, when the music goes fast, for the volta maybe to do ripple a little bit too much, but if you have a slow volta, this could be a great choice to add a little bit extra spiciness to your dance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or Batafogo. Batafogo we can use quite a lot. So from here, when we activated our tummy, we have reverse ripple, then step. We have reverse ripple, then replace. 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Let's say when you do batucado, it's better not to do reverse ripple unless you want to really at the beginning have a little bit spiciness. Here it's better to use your stomach action. When you do cruzado walks, reverse ripple could be a good idea. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is already 2 actions. We have a stomach action, reverse ripple action. And the third action is very much connected to reverse ripple. It's just your rib cage action, because not always you can dance, you can have a full ripple effect. You can do only a rib cage. So do this exercise. Put your feet together, do rib cage out, out, rib, 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 rib. So focusing on this magic buttons, and you have 2 versions with it. The rib cage is out, and then you press it in as a magic button. Rib cage is out, you press it in. So for example, we're doing basic Samba. I can use a little bit stomach, a little bit already, a little bit reverse ripple. But now focus on the rib cage and rib cage. So the rib cage leading the step, and rib cage 1, 2. The same on the back. Rib cage 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The same for the whisk. You can use rib cage, focusing on the rib cage. 1, 2, rib cage. 1, 2, rib cage action. 1, 2, 1, 2. Or we'll do volta, focusing on the rib cage. Rib cage, then step. 1, 2, 1, 2. The same other side, volta. Walk, focus on the rib cage. Diagonal rib cage, then step. The same on the whisk, if you want to do a whisk. Focusing on the rib cage. Rib cage step 1, rib cage, 2, rib cage 1. And here you can do rib cage step, rib cage step 2. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And then when you dance Samba, you have these 3 choices. You can use your tummy, which in general every step, you can do reverse ripple to make it spicy, or you can use rib cage, or you can use all of it together with a certain degree of each. So later on, I will do exercises and drills how to develop that flexibility in the body. And this is just introductory to these 3 effective actions for Samba. Enjoy your lesson and see you at the other lessons.